Hello, hello. Hi, gang. Hello, hello. So, what an exciting year it has been for pro football in the state of Michigan and in Pennsylvania. Detroit pro football, they finished with a record of 15-2, a first round bye. They're an 8.5 point home fave hosting Washington Saturday at 8 p.m. in the next round of the pro football playoffs. And then Sunday at 3, Philly, a 6 point fave hosting Los Angeles. And then on top of that, Monday is not only President elect Trump's inauguration, but Monday night is the college football championship between Notre Dame and Ohio State. Ohio State, a 9 point fave. Whether your team scores or not, there's always another way to win on the Playgun Lake online casino and sportsbook app in Michigan and the BetParks app in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. BetParks and Playgun Lake, I've played and used them both. They are the only apps that I ever use and recommend to bet sports and to play on all your favorite casino games for real money. Have some skin in the game. It's so much fun to take some of the prop bets during the course of the action. And by the way, when there's a break in the action, you can be playing blackjack or craps, poker, roulette, and hot online slots, all while watching the game so that you can make your downtime some fun time. Play the hot online slots double down right now on fourth down, or play with a live dealer on your phone. Download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. New users download the app and get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Your casino bonus has to be wagered. Playgunlake.com or betparks.com for details. You've got to be 21 and in Michigan for the Playgun Lake app, 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Michigan for the BetParks app. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So today, this Thursday, the 16th of January, means it's the 16th. I am more than the halfway. I'm over the hump for dry January. I have a confession to make that I've not said on radio, but a confession for those who follow me on YouTube. And that is that I accidentally, I know some of you are not going to believe this, but I'm going to tell you the full story. I accidentally fell off the wagon for my dry January. There has been one time in these 16 days of January where, I drank a beer. And my hand to God, it did not occur to me until after the fact that I had just, through forgetfulness, fallen off the wagon of dry January. Here's what happened. I was in, and people who are home here in Philly, this will make sense to you. I was in Center City and I had an incredibly busy day and I was running from, radio responsibilities to other responsibilities. I was hungry and I went to the Sansom Street Oyster House, which would be the 1500 block of Sansom Street. And I've been going there for years. And I sat at the bar in between appointments, looked at the menu on my phone, scrambled thoughts, and I ordered a fried platter. I think it had fried shrimp, fried clams, fried oysters, and something else fried, and some coleslaw. And I instinctively ordered a draft beer. They brought out the beer. They brought out all that fried seafood, which was delicious. By the way, I told them I didn't want the French fries. Like, what am I, crazy? Like, what would it have mattered? In for a penny, in for a pound. And I threw down the beer with my meal. And after I paid the check, it occurred to me, oh my gosh, I just had a beer. And I didn't mean to do that. And it would have been so easy to ask for a Heineken Zero. This week I had a Lagunitas Zero. And so I hope you believe me. Listen, if I just needed it, I tell you, it was complete oversight on my part. Just too many things on my mind. So I'm in the midst of a dry January. Yesterday, I'm going to get to the poll question. Don't worry. But yesterday, I had an opinion piece from the New York Times from Tressie McMillan Cottom, Cottom, from the New York Times, a New York Times columnist, a professor at UNC at Chapel Hill in North Carolina. She's not joining dry January. And she said, some of my reasons are deeper. Anything that becomes popular has politics. Dry January takes a choice and compels people to talk about it, to proselytize it, and ultimately to perform it. I'm sure people think they perform going dry for all the good reasons to let others know they are not alone, to fight back against insidious drinking culture. But what we mean to do and what we end up doing can be two different things. If dry January were just temporary teetotalism or total abstinence, it would be innocuous. But consumer-driven health campaigns that get this kind of traction do not happen in a vacuum. A broader, modern temperance movement promoting clean living traffics in moral superiority and old racist ideas. I'm reading that and I'm like, what? I simply thought, I drink too much. I should cleanse for the month of January, that one lunch at the Sansom Street Oyster House notwithstanding. And then I read this essay and I thought, oh my God, there's so much more going on here. I guess for some, she said that history is unavoidable, but today's version of the lips that touch liquor shall never touch mine also reflects our self-defeating politics of individuality. Cutesy individual solutions cannot solve bigger social problems like alcoholism or cancer. I just wanted to clean up my act for a month. Today's poll question at Smerconish.com is a real good one. Should Congress allow insurance plans to raise premiums for people who drink? You know by now that Surgeon General Vivek Murthy came out recently. He wants a warning label like we have on cigarettes for booze, warning of a risk of cancer. And, you know, up until now, we've heard that there are some moderate health benefits if you drink in moderation. For a long time, we were told that it could be advantageous relative to heart attacks or strokes, but now it's been linked to various forms of cancer. So we've got warnings on alcoholic labels on cans and bottles of booze now about pregnancy, about before you drive, you should know this, don't drive, operating heavy equipment, and I think various and other sundry health warnings. Murthy says that 100,000 people and 20,000 related cases die from cancer that's related to alcohol consumption every year. And in particular, it's colon cancer and breast cancer. So on radio today, I have Larry Levitt, who's a executive vice president at KFF, Kaiser Health, I think of them. He served in the White House in the Clinton years. And I will be discussing with him how 1 in 6 breast cancer cases, according to the Surgeon General, is attributable to alcohol consumption. Do we now want to have a warning label on booze, warning of cancer? Only South Korea has such a warning. In their case, it's to liver cancer. So I read that and I'm like, well, wait a minute. They're saying liver cancer. We're being told breast cancer and maybe colon cancer. Do they really have this figured out? The Affordable Care Act, the ACA, Obamacare, says you can't charge more for somebody's medical history, prior conditions, or based on their gender. We make one exception, and it's for tobacco. But should alcohol now be an additional area where you have to pay in excess of what someone who doesn't drink would pay? Some states don't allow for charging more for tobacco, but most do. The Affordable Care Act, here's a good bit of information. The Affordable Care Act allows for charging as much as 50% more for smokers, but not all states do that. So what about booze? I mean, one of the counter arguments is to say that people who struggle with alcoholism are addicted. Is it fair to charge somebody more for that which is guided by an addiction? And here's another consideration against the idea of charging more for drinkers. You're going to price some people out of the marketplace, right? Some people are just not therefore going to be able to afford their health insurance. And then without insurance, whose burden do they become? They become ours, in the same way that we allow you, if you show up at an ER, you've got to be treated. We don't turn you away because you don't have health insurance in this country. And then the third argument would be one of, where does the slippery slope, you can tell I'm against this, where does the slippery slope go? What about processed foods? What about somebody based solely on their weight? What about somebody who smokes pot? What about somebody who drives fast? What about a rock climber or a mountain climber? What else are we going to add to this list? It requires congressional action in order for there to be an insurance premium increase because it's a modification of the Affordable Care Act for those who drink. And you know, one other thing that occurs to me is you've got a president who's a teetotaler. I don't think that Trump has ever been a consumer of booze. I watched the Apprentice movie, the whole story of he and Roy Cohn, and you know, he drinks there under the sort of social pressure of Roy Cohn, but Trump's not a drinker. And Bobby, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., incoming Secretary of Health and Human Services, does not drink because of his battles with addiction, his past battles. So interesting that the two who are guiding policy at the federal level don't drink. Poll question today at Smerconish.com. Should Congress allow insurance plans to raise premiums for people who drink? Should Congress allow insurance plans to raise premiums for people who drink? It's a great question. I am a no vote. No, negative. Go vote at Smerconish.com, like and follow the podcast, and please set yourself up for notifications so that whenever I'm speaking, you're in the loop. Thank you for all of that. See ya.